Now, have you ever seen commercials for skin tightening procedures that don't involve surgery, and you think to yourself, does that really work? Our next guest, Dr. Edward Ross, is going to demonstrate his new facial treatment technology that's supposed to give results after just one session. Dr. Ross, how are you, man? Thanks for coming out.
Good to see you.
So tell me a little bit about this operation, because I think I'm about to be a guinea pig, right?
Yeah, that's right. You're going to be a guinea pig.
Tell me about this.
So there's no knives involved, no sutures, no
knives.
cutting. So
We like
that's
that.
right, no knives. This is all non-invasive. Non-invasive meaning we're going to be able to get to the bottom from inside out. So we're heating from inside out. So there are a lot of these types of procedures that you might hear about. There are procedures like thermage and Ulthera. Most of these devices rely on creating energy deep in the skin, and then the skin is supposed to be tight. Just like if you heat plastic, it'll sort of get tight. Right. This is a little different machine. This actually uses little needles. The needles are simultaneously sort of impaled into your skin.
By the way, you just turned off a lot of people by saying little needles.
They're little needles.
Right.
They're very small needles. They're so small you
needles.
might not be able to see them. So what this device does, this is a little handpiece here. It looks like a little gun, but it's actually not as intimidating. And so what happens is when I press this little pedal, this little button, 5 needles go into the skin, and over a period of a few seconds, it heats the skin from inside out. So these are sort of like hot needles. Now, typically when we do this procedure, you're numb. We would have a little injectable anesthesia. We're going to do you today without
any without the anesthesia.
Without the anesthesia, right.
Yeah,
but on your arm and not your face.
This entire segment,
right.
by the way.
And so what the device does, we set a time and a temperature. So the temperature here is 65 degrees. And that's not 65 degrees Fahrenheit, that's Celsius. That's, that's more like Palm Desert in the middle of the summer. It's about 140 degrees or something. So it's a little toasty. And then we do it for 3 to 4 seconds. And so the combination of the time and the temperature heats the skin.
Heating the skin, and just simply heating the skin, does that take away the wrinkles, or is it working on like a subcutaneous level? Is it going to the fat that's under the skin? How is this working?
So this is just superficial to the fat and deep to the top layer of skin, so it's sort of in that intermediate level. What it does, once it heats the skin, there's some immediate tightening, but what really happens is over the next few months, you get an inflammatory response and a tightening response because of the heating.
And that's good now.
That's good. That's
so
good.
Inflammatory response is good now with
it's good.
this.
But it's under the skin. You might see some tiny little needle holes for a day or two and some swelling, but there's no cutting, no big open wound. You don't have to put gauze on your skin. You don't have to put Vaseline on your skin. You can walk out, and other than some bruising, a little swelling, you look reasonably good. You can almost do the show.
People won't even notice it, right?
They might notice it a little bit. They'll notice it maybe more than that headdress. But so I think we're maybe about ready here to go.
You slipped in a joke from the opening segment. How did you do that?
I just
That's very
listened.
good. You're paying attention.
That's right.
Okay, so you want me to run this sleeve up.
Sure, right.
And now you're about to hit me with these.
Right. So normally,
your words, needles.
Now normally we would do this on the face, so it has these facial areas, and you do right, left. So this arm is a little different. So we're going to set this up. We hit treat here, and now it's ready to treat. And maybe you can.
I already have a bruise here.
You have a bruise there.
We'll
go next to that. I'm going to wipe your skin here just to kind of sterilize you a little bit here.
Now I'm clean.
Now you're clean. And I don't know if the camera can see the little needles go forward there. Just if you see the needles there, and then so then I hit it again, and they come back. So,
gotcha.
You ready? Okay.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Got to be tough. I'm going to stay away from this vein over here. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. That was it. How was that? It was a little hot. Had to be a little warm.
Well, yeah, you know, I felt it, but it's, I mean, I think like you kind of told me, it's no big deal. It's certainly not uncomfortable to the point where, you know, I withdrew my arm and said, ah, and screamed out loud. There's no pain involved, Doc. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, there's very little pain. Now, normally on the face, again, you got a little tiny mark there.
Just a little bit.
But normally what we would do is we would numb you with a little numbing shot on your face. And this is typically going to be applied to the face, not to the arm. The arm was just sort of to show how it works.
Because you can't touch this face.
You can't touch the face.
Not right now.
Well, we don't want to make it symmetrical. If we did one side, we'd have enough time to do the whole face, so one side would be lifted and the other side wouldn't, so that would be a bad look.
Understood.
So, but that's how it works. So it's time and temperature. It's very controlled, and you basically, if you use these settings, you're going to get fairly reproducible, predictable result.
Yeah, and there is virtually no pain. And
that's right.
Tell the people out there that want to know more, what's the next step as far as getting information on this and possibly coming in and getting this done?
Well, the next step is to call our clinic at 858-764-9040. It's Scripps Clinic, Laser and Cosmetic Dermatology, and we're also on the web as well.
Okay, and that's it. They just make up an appointment. They come in, and you bring out the gun, and it's all good.
Yeah, normally we wouldn't do it this first treatment. We'd just look at them at the first appointment, and then we'd give them an appointment to come back.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, listen, I can tell you, from BR, it just doesn't hurt. And if it does you good and makes you look better, It's a fantastic thing. Doc, thank you very much for
thank
your time.
you. Okay.
Appreciate you coming
All right.
by.